ShinyHunters just put a deadline on one of the biggest education data breaches ever recorded. And the company behind Canvas, well, they've screwed up. All right, Instructure, the ed tech company that runs Canvas, has confirmed 2 separate intrusions within a 2-week window. That is not a typo. 2 breaches, the same platform, back to back. Yeah, Canvas, for those of you that didn't know, is the learning management system used by thousands of colleges, universities, and K-12 schools worldwide. If your institution runs on it, students will submit their assignments there, teachers will store their grades there, and staff data lives there. It's literally the digital backbone of the education system for a massive chunk of schools around the world. Now, ShinyHunters is the same crew that's behind the Ticketmaster breach back in 2024. They're claiming to have walked out of there with 3.63 terabytes of data, okay? They're saying that this covers more than 275 million students, teachers, and staff tied to nearly 9,000 schools. Now, this number hasn't been independently verified yet, but Instructure isn't disputing this scale in any meaningful way. The group reset their pay or leak deadline after initial negotiations stalled, which put Instructure in a very public corner. And here's where it got worse, okay? Instructure reportedly reached a ransom agreement with ShinyHunters to stop the leak. Yeah, that's the company paying criminals not to release data belonging to students, some of them minors. Yeah, the ethics and the optics of that decision are going to haunt them for a very long time. So what we're going to see next, it's going to get messy, okay? Regulators in multiple countries will likely open inquiries. FERPA compliance questions are already swirling in the US. And, well, ShinyHunters has a history of taking the money and leaking the data anyway. So, for any of you running or attending an institution on Canvas, watch out for phishing campaigns, okay? Breached school records get weaponized fast, and students, well, y'all are kind of soft targets, okay? Don't wait for your institution to tell you that something's wrong. All right, let's move on to our next story. Qilin is having a very busy week. The ransomware group just added AppDirect to their leak site, and they didn't stop there. 2 other organizations were hit in the same wave. Comercial Exfiltrated Limitada and Clínica Avellaneda Medical Center. Different industries, different countries, same playbook. So, who is Qilin? They are a ransomware as a service operation, also tracked as Agenda that's been active since at least 2022. They write their malware in Go and Rust, which makes it cross-platform. So Windows, Linux, EXI, it doesn't care, okay? Affiliates will rent access to the infrastructure and then execute the attacks and split the ransom. Now, the core group, they take a small cut and they just keep developing the tooling. It's classic ransomware as a service structure. Now, the name AppDirect, that one should get your attention here, okay? They're a B2B commerce platform, the kind of company that sits in the middle of software marketplaces and channel partner ecosystems, okay? So if real data was exfiltrated, this is not just one company's problem. This is potentially every partner and customer that runs through their platform. That's the blast radius concern with SaaS and marketplace style businesses. Now, the medical center hit, it's a separate issue entirely. Clínica Avellaneda is a healthcare organization. Now, ransomware against healthcare, it's not anything new, but it never gets less serious. You see, we're still talking about patient records, billing data, operational systems. The stakes are higher and the sector is consistently under-resourced for defenses. Now, Qilin has really been escalating their tactics upon the healthcare industry. Earlier this year, they hit Synovis, a UK pathology services provider, and that attack actually caused blood transfusion shortages across London hospitals, okay? This group isn't shy about attacking critical infrastructure. Now, the open question here is what data actually left these networks before encryption. Qilin, they're known for running double extortion. They take the data first, then lock the system. So if your organization connects to AppDirect in any capability here, folks, you need to start asking questions about what data that they hold on you. Don't wait for a breach notification. All right, last story of the day, folks. Foxconn just confirmed it got hit by ransomware. And the files the attackers claim to have stolen include confidential data tied to Apple and NVIDIA. This is no small breach, folks. This is a supply chain security nightmare. So the Nitrogen ransomware gang has listed Fox on their data leak website, which is how the story broke. Foxconn then confirmed the attack, saying several of its North American factories were compromised. Their cybersecurity team activated, and their response protocols say that they are working to maintain operational continuity. That's the official line. Now, what Nitrogen claims to have, well, this is the part that really stings, okay? The gang says it has confidential files belonging to Apple and NVIDIA sourced directly from Foxconn's internal systems. Now, Foxconn manufactures hardware for both companies, so their systems would legitimately hold sensitive product specs, contracts, and supplier agreements. The exact volume of data hasn't been confirmed publicly yet, but we do know that this hits Foxconn's North American operations specifically. That touches manufacturing facilities and business functions tied to some of the biggest names in consumer electronics and enterprise hardware. Now, if that data is genuine and gets published, oh gosh, the downstream exposure for Apple and NVIDIA could include things like unreleased product information or proprietary supply chain details. Now, Foxconn hasn't said how the attackers got in, and it hasn't confirmed whether a ransom demand was made. The company says that operations are continuing, though. Now, neither Apple nor NVIDIA have publicly commented on this issue either. Now, here's what you should do with this information, okay? If you work in the tech procurement or supply chain at all and you've had any business dealings with Foxconn's North American operations, treat your shared credentials as compromised until proven otherwise. Reset any shared portal passwords immediately. Watch out for things like, targeted phishing attempts too, using Foxconn's branding. Ransomware gangs, they don't just sell the data, they use it to craft convincing follow-along attacks, okay? This one's worth watching closely. All right, folks, that's it for today's stories. This is Andy Thompson, signing off.